One of the things that's been kind of hot in the news right now. I mean, if The View's talking about it, if Whoopi Goldberg thinks it's news, you know, that really means, you know, because she's the go-to news source. She's like the most credible news source you can think. But Marvel right now, they're having something big happen with one of their characters, North Star. If you haven't heard of North Star, well, you're probably not the only one. There are a lot of people who know North Star, as well as some others. I mean, you probably...
Do one of us have to sum up what North Star is?
You can. I mean, I barely know anything.
North Star is a Canadian superhero. His sister is... Canadian sister who goes crazy. Because in Marvel, all women at some point have to go crazy. And it's even better if they get to kill people. And she did. So she went crazy in Alpha Flight. He's her sister. At some point, they decided they needed to have a gay character. They gave it to North Star.
Yeah.
And I don't think really anything more needs to be said.
No, although I do think, I believe someone said he first came out in like '92 or like something like that.
No, it wasn't 90. It wasn't that early. It was late 90s.
Yeah, he came out a while ago though. He's been
about 10 years.
Yeah,
We're working on 10 years. That's good. That is actually good.
Considering, you know, he's been pretty consistent. Although the big thing that's kind of been the news topic has been North Star proposing to his boyfriend Kyle.
Is Kyle a major character?
Well,
is Kyle a character that at all has been in any comic book before?
He's been in not as much.
I'm sorry, I'm making fun of the scenario.
Not as much as North Star. I can tell you that right now. I think he was introduced within the last 3 years, and even then has only been sparsely used. He's kind of just been that's North Star's boyfriend.
So it would make sense that if a character was going to get married, it would be the man who's had a boyfriend for several years.
Yeah, but Marvel's been taking it upon itself to make it kind of its big thing, going to different news sources, outlets, from like Extra to Access Hollywood to every kind of outlet to try to get more people to read the comic, even though it's basically 3 pages out of the entire comic. But they still wanted to make it a big thing, and leading into Astonishing X-Men number 51, which will be the marriage of North Star and Kyle. And this has kind of caused a huge, kind of a rift.
Yes?
It's caused kind of a rift in the sense that some people believe that this was a publicity stunt by Marvel to get more readers.
Well, of course it's a publicity stunt, but what's wrong with that? They're in a profit-making industry. Yeah, they're going to do everything they can to garner interest in their titles.
The question though that a lot of people have is it legitimate though? Are they really doing this because they're trying to advance North Star's character and trying to, you know...
Has New York accepted gay marriage yet as a legal contract? Then it's legitimate.
Shortly after this kind of hit the news and kind of became the big story within, you know, the readers that, you know, pay attention to that, DC announced apparently there's a convention going on right now somewhere, I think in Canada, I believe it is, but they announced that hey, we're going to make a prominent DC character gay.
Prominent male character, prominent new male character who was heterosexual in the past, has a history, like a long-standing character. I'm going to say at least over 25 years.
Probably, considering prominent.
Who, iconic. Okay, so we ain't talking like Green Lantern's brother. Okay, yeah, but that's the whole point. Is they're going to make a character who's been traditionally a heterosexual character, of long-standing iconic status within the DC universe, who is male. Also, it can't be a female.
Yeah.
And that and so now I just found out about this yesterday.
There goes my theory of Wonder Woman being the one that comes out.
I honestly, you know what? I talked to Carmen about this before. I would not have a problem with Superman being gay, because when I was
actually, that's who was one of the out of the people who I was thinking about. it wouldn't make sense if it was Aquaman because of Mera, and it really wouldn't make sense because of Flash, because right now his whole story is he's trying to rescue his not girlfriend but good friend, and he's in a prominent relationship. It would be too easy for Batman. I mean, there's already the gay jokes write themselves. I mean, that's
well, he was the whole reason that guy had the whole fight against super comic books back in the 50s.
And you know,
William Marshall.
And so really, when you think about the people who are in like when you think prominent, it's easy to kind of think like Justice League type, or it really only comes down to Superman or Cyborg, and really when you think about the two, probably it's more likely to be someone like Superman rather than.
When I was growing up, I used to gloss over the whole thing with Lois Lane. I wanted to get right to the fighty fight, and that's what Superman has. Then and actually when you consider his character, okay, so Insect Queen would, even from Silver Age, she'd come in, she'd be like, and she's a good-looking woman, and she'd be all like, "Oh, Superman, I want to marry you," and he'd be like, "No!" And then Maxima later came in. Maxima, a hot redhead, comes in. She's like, "I'm super rich and I have my own empire in the galaxy. I want to marry you." He's like, "No!" And then he marries Lois Lane. And what does he do after he marries Lois Lane? He does everything he can not to spend time with her. To include, goes on a walkabout around America for a year.
Was that the Straczynski run?
Yes. So if anything, they need to make him gay just to cover up continuity errors.
Well, not only that, but they've done everything they can to get rid of Lois Lane as a romantic interest. In fact, in the New 52, they completely got rid of their relationship, and in Earth 2, even though, spoiler, Superman himself died, but Lois Lane had died previously before anyway,
Yes.
so it seems like they really didn't, they really want to. I think it is interesting, though. I've heard a lot of people say Superman, so I almost wonder if that is the way they're going to go. Although,
But they said he hasn't been introduced yet. So unfortunately, Superman is out of the running.
Yeah, and they can't really. Well, Shazam is 10, so
they do. He put a list. So the title that I'm quoting from is Brian Cronin's.
Yeah.
He put together a list of Plastic Man.
Which would be.
No, actually that works, because you also have to consider if they're going to make an iconic character gay, it has to be somebody to whom sexuality doesn't have any real meaning, because they don't want to trip up his storylines.
Well, that's
Plastic Man sexuality has never. I don't think Plastic Man, except for the Joe Kelly run, Plastic Man hasn't. Sexuality doesn't play any role.
And see, I think that's one of the things I was talking with Carmen before, and we were taping, was that if you're going to make a character, if you come out of the closet, it has to make sense within the character's own thing, because otherwise it comes off as, hey, Marvel's doing this, so now we have to make a gay character because it's going to get attention.
Well, I'm exactly the opposite. I'm thinking they're going to make somebody gay who being gay doesn't matter. Like
Exactly.
Robot Man, they can make Robot gay.
That's what I'm
matter.
hoping. See, that's what I'm hoping is it's that way. I don't want it to be the other way, because that would just kind of seem to cheapen everything. So
They do. Brian Cronin does list Captain Marvel. He says a new Green Lantern. Ryan Chow. I don't know that Ryan Chow he was an Atom. I don't know that he qualifies.
yeah.
Okay, on a serious note, my money's on Wally West.
No, that does seem like a legitimate person of interest for that kind of.
Travis, I have made a further list.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I'm actually. I was wondering why you had all those names on that list, and I was wondering if you were going to bring up Before Watchmen or you were going to list other people.
Well, actually, this wasn't. I thought of this one, but then I saw somebody else had posted on a message board.
Yeah.
Rorschach. And Rorschach is actually alluded to as being gay, or at least having a man crush on Night Owl in Watchmen. Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk as in.
That was the look on your face, Travis, was priceless.
Captain Kirk is in that Captain Kirk. My God, I love you, man.
Okay,
take
yes,
me with you.
These are all funny. Jack Knight,
Okay.
Starman, and actually Ted Knight, if you think about it, it would take away Jack Knight, or it doesn't necessarily.
Well, they have
to.
introduced Shade, so
Yeah.
I mean, that could bring someone in that if they were going to bring Starman back.
Wildcat,
That one could see Wildcat.
Donna Troy,
But she can't be because
She
you
can't
said
be
it was a
because she's a
he,
woman.
right?
Or is she?
Oh, Lord.
Hey, that would be taking it to the next level. How would transgender that? I mean, if you're gonna have balls, you might as well go all the way.
Why can't we have Mary Batson
literally.
turn into Captain Marvel?
I haven't
Okay.
been in comics long enough to know that answer. So.
Han Solo?
No, he's already kind of in his own situation.
These are ones that just came up recently. Hitman, the Garth Ennis character.
Mm-hmm.
The Spirit.
No.
Do you have a problem with Denny Colt being gay, Carmen?
No, I just love Denny Colt, and I would like to know that if I were somehow put in a comic book, that he would rather hit on me.
Doc Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carmen, if it's any help, I would like to know that if I was in a comic book, Doc Savage would hit on me.
Well, I'd hope Doc Savage would hit on you as well.
Ultraman. And actually, that one I just wrote down. What about Ultraman? Why couldn't Ultraman be gay?
I don't know. That actually,
Is the world ready for a gay villain?
in all honesty, probably. I mean, if DC's gonna go.
Well, according to Kevin Smith, the Joker has tendencies, so...
Well,
He pulled his pants down, and he asked for it. Kevin Smith.
but I want you, Mr. J. Forget. But I want just free. Back away, Harley.
Is that Widening Gyre? Might have been.
I didn't know anybody read that.
I read anything with Batman in it.
No, this was actually one that I put in. Earth 2 Dick Grayson. Think about it. Dick Grayson...
Well, there have been enough jokes about Dick Grayson in terms of his sexuality.
Actually, that would make sense. Now, you can't have Earth 1 Dick Grayson, but Earth 2 Dick Grayson's still up for grabs. Wait, I'm sorry I said that now. Anyway, my list is now closed.